Kirito and Eugeo versus the Crimson Integrity Knight. Is this the best anime fight of the year so far? So what's up guys, Foxen here. Time for the best SAO Alicization fight so far. And by the way, definitely subscribe for weekly SAO videos from a hardcore SAO fan. But first, the new second Alicization opening. Keep in mind, I will have a dedicated in-depth video for this new opening coming soon. Now you got the new song replacing Lisa. Oh, I am such a huge Lisa fan at this point, so it does make me sad not to hear her voice every week now. However, even though I do prefer her opening Atoms, I did actually enjoy this new opening too the first time around. I got a feeling it's just gonna grow on me more and more. Just like the Attack on Titan Season 3 opening. But what do you think? Do you like this new opening or hate it? Was Lisa better? Just go ahead and pause the video for a second and post down below. For the actual animation, like I mentioned, I will have a breakdown video soon. Just seeing it the first time, I was surprised at how much they didn't put into this. I was expecting to see some of the top Integrity Knights like Bercoli, more of Valens, and definitely more of Quinella. If they were really just trying to avoid spoilers, this opening is almost perfect. There's so much juicy hidden stuff everywhere. The standout for me is that I just love seeing Eugeo and Kirito fighting side by side. That definitely has to be the strongest part of Alicization so far. Almost made me tear up. So post your reactions down below. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. At the beginning of this episode, priorities, gotta find your damn weapons. Oh, well, that was super easy. Quinella should have hired some lower rank security or put cameras in this freaking weapon storage room. By the way, do notice the shot of their swords. It's just perfect. It really feels like a reference to the picture from the novel. They didn't actually do this shot when they were in the academy, so it is awesome seeing it now here. As for all the weapons and armor in the storage, it really reminded me of the Uprising arc in Attack on Titan Season 3. Oh, let's just go ahead and take away all possible unique, strong, divine weapons and research. Lock it all up, that way no one's gonna be able to stand up against the church. And really, there's a lot of parallels between this SAO season and Attack on Titan Season 3. Maybe I'll do a video on that. By the way, right here, Kirito should have really considered grabbing a second freaking sword. Damn it, missed opportunity. At least both of them did get a change of clothes. While reading the novel, I did picture them having the similar academy uniform, but it looks like they're different enough. So far, I am liking the change to Kirito's black getup, but I think I prefer what Eugeo was wearing before. I feel like they keep on switching clothing just to make a ton of upcoming figures. The SAO games are definitely going to take advantage of these new uniforms. Anyway, getting on to the juicy part. Kirito and Eugeo versus a Crimson Integrity Knight. I almost want to say the Crimson Alchemist. For this guy, I am just loving the red armor design. Those horn things on his head really makes this guy seem like a devil, an armored being. I mentioned before how this arc really reminded me of Bleach. So seeing this guy is kind of screaming Quincy for me, although way more badass looking. So to start this, you have the Crimson Knight using a whole ton of arrows. Yeah, buddy, just keep spamming your ass off. I was just thinking, wouldn't it be more effective just to do some accurate single aiming? Unless your aiming just sucks. I don't think this guy even hit them. Naturally, none of that mattered. The Crimson Knight unleashed a perfect weapon control art. The bow going into Phoenix mode. Cause really, all these Integrity Knights have all these high class buffs. This Crimson Integrity Knight was literally on fire. Let's just get blazing. Such a nice visual. Unlimited fire arrows is the way to go. Fortunately for Kirito and Eugeo, they did come with Eugeo, so fire versus ice. Definitely a perfect counter. Just don't apply Pokemon rules here. As for Kirito versus the fire arrow, or should I say the blazing phoenix, just looking at the animation, it did seem a little weird how the Sacred Arts Ice Shield withstood that impact for that long. Kirito, I thought your Sacred Arts was weak. On the other hand, each burning arrow should have the freaking power of the phoenix, that mythical beast that became that crimson bow. One of the things I just freaking love was seeing Kirito block the Phoenix Stampede. I'm sure you've seen it in other anime, the swordsman using a similar sword spin move to block this. For Kirito doing this, it was exactly like I imagined it. I am trying to recall some other anime that had something similar, but I'm just drawing a blank in my head. So tell me, if this reminds you of anything, post it down below. And then, unfortunately for Kirito, he got slammed back. Ouch. But Kirito was like, Captain Irwin, keep on going forward. As for Eugeo here, tag team for the win. Their partnership teamwork is definitely a highlight that makes all of these battles shine. You had Eugeo just struggling for a while, trying to find that special something to infuse into his blue rose sword. I think you could have guessed what Eugeo would end up choosing. And personally for me, I gotta love Eugeo getting the spotlight for this fight. Oh, that animation for the blue rose sword in the mountainside. Keep in mind that this rose in the ice has gone through like centuries of withstanding that savage cold. Those silly flames from the phoenix wouldn't stand a match. Overall, this battle definitely looked and seemed a lot better than the novel counterpart. It is funny because originally I did picture the Blue Rose sword in some cube on the ice on the mountaintop. That was definitely more goofy. And about that double slash from Eugeo. Not only slashing the bow into pieces, but penetrating that armor. Time to go get a refund. I did think for a second that Eugeo would stop before the second slash. Although I guess he couldn't since it's a sword skill. For this, I did love the blood just freezing and flaking off. Blue Rose sword for the win. I mean, the poor Crimson Knight was just turning into freaking ice cream right there. By the way, right here we finally got a small SAO reference from the name of the sword shield move. So far they have been cutting most parallels to the original SAO from the season 3 anime, so just seeing little bits like this is really nice. As for the Crimson Integrity Knight's defeat, I do like how these knights are actually accepting of their defeat. They don't suddenly go into BSing mode making excuses for their loss. Next up, the 50th floor. The Crimson Knight right here did mention other Integrity Knights waiting there to execute Kirito and Eugeo. And he's not joking. The next lovely knight waiting up there is Integrity Knight number 2, along with a Special Execution Knight squad. As for the Crimson Knight's fate, this guy would be stripped down and frozen like a freaking popsicle. Unsurprisingly, Miss Supreme Ruler Administrator isn't merciful at all. Which might be why Mr. Crimson here prefers an honorable death by the victors, instead of becoming a freaking statue. Ultimately, this leads into the grand reveal, Synthesis Knight 7. That's right, the code bastard from the first episode. Oh, Eugeo wasn't happy one bit about this reveal. Unfortunately, it does go back to the administrator playing Founding Titan with people's memories. The sad reality is that once one of these Integrity Knights completes a mission, like say bringing this little blonde taboo breaker to the capital, Quinella just goes around and does some memory cleansing. Mr. Synthesis 7 here got a crimson bow and armor in exchange. As for your new history, yep, you've been summoned from the heavens. My frigging ass. You can bet that some of the knights that lived for centuries have noticed some weird things going around. Although Quinella does take precautions. Quinella goes out of her way to make sure these knights are stationed in areas that have people who've known these knights as humans. Quinella truly is evil. I mean, you saw the poor knight recalling his wife and lover in his dreams. Quinella specifically strips these knights of their most beloved one's memories. On top of that, it's for a mostly nasty reason. By the way, here's a quick side note about the knights. They all do have synthesis in their name title, but it's not really based on some ranking system. Their number is strictly based on the order they were created. For example, Alice may be one of the newer knights as Alice Synthesis 30, but she is like in the top 5 most powerful knights. But anyway, as for Kirito just leaving this guy there and alive, oh so trustful, and kind of careless. This was another reason why this arc really reminded me of the Soul Society Bleach arc. Either way, these guys are getting some cardio from all those stairs. They're now already on floor 29. And just to be clear, since I've seen some confusion about this, they are going to be climbing the tower floors pretty quickly. There was a small reference to Aincrad in the last episode, but this Axiom Church is not supposed to be anything like the floating castle in the sky. Next up, floor 50. And freaking Kirito, snatching some more fruit from Cardinal. Looks like he took his buffet to go in the anime. Kirito should have really gotten a Big Mac with a side large Domino's pizza while he was at it. As for the perfect weapon control art that was mentioned, yep, these guys are gonna have to go all out in order to stand a freaking chance. SAO Shikai and Bankai, here we come. As for the ending here, oh, here come the lowly apprentices. These guys just went ahead and swapped out the Cardinal lowly for 2 new ones. See, Kirito, bringing that large pizza would have been a great idea. Next up, with this latest episode, we also have a new ending. So just for my initial impressions, at the beginning you do have some reused footage. This ending once again is Eugeo focused, which is not really a complaint. I bet the next one is going to be Alice focused, and then the best SAO girl for last. Visually, you don't get too much, but for the actual song, I was really loving it, especially Raona's voice. I was thinking she sounded extremely familiar. But of course she did. She did a lot of the songs for the SAO spin-off. There's been so many times that I listened to her stuff non-stop for hours and hours just while editing video. Next up, let me talk about the highlights for the changes going into the anime version. The first thing is just Eugeo's thoughts. During the battle with the Crimson Knight, Eugeo was burning with almost some hate for this Crimson Integrity Knight. That was before finding out about Alice. Eugeo really just saw them on the level of the ketchup and mustard nobos from a few episodes back. So arrogant, believing they were always right. And to be honest, that's pretty much it. There are some things here and there that got abridged, but this was an excellent anime version of the novel. I might even say way better. Anyway, let me go ahead and hear from you. Question of the day. How much did you enjoy this blazing battle versus a Crimson Integrity Knight? Where do you rank it compared to the other SAO fights? And don't forget about the new opening and ending. How do these new ones compare to Lisa and Aries' old songs? Go ahead and post below. I'm gonna have the breakdown of the opening coming soon. But anyway, go ahead and smash that thumbs up and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, you can enjoy weekly SAO videos right here. Don't forget to find out where SAO ranks for my top anime of 2018. Did it even make my list? Go ahead and find out, hit bell notifications, and I'll see you guys later.